Welcome back to Hustle and Grind Finance. I'm Guy, so glad you're here. There was a time when making $100,000 was something to brag about. $100,000 a year meant you were rich. You used to say six figures. I don't know if you're my age, but I remember those days. You weren't just comfortable, you weren't just doing okay, you were rich, you were loaded. Today, in many cities, you need $300,000 a year to live the lifestyle that used to give you the lifestyle at $100,000. And here's the wild part. Even at $300K, people don't feel wealthy. Let's break down why in this video. Let's talk about, at first, the psychological anchor. We have in our minds yesterday's income stuck in our head. For decades, 100,000 was this gold standard. It was this milestone, six figures. You made it. But that number, it got stuck. It got lodged in our brain in the 90s, if you were around in the 90s, in the early 2000s. But since then, inflation has done what inflation does. It roared past 100,000. It is not uncommon for people to start at 100,000 in their career. If you adjust $100,000 from the early 2000s into today's dollars, you're looking at something much closer to say 170,000 or $200,000 a year, and that's just general inflation. That doesn't include housing specifically, which is the biggest expense anybody has. $300,000 income is hidden inside of housing. This is where things blow up. In many major metro areas, at least in the US, starter homes that were $250,000, $350,000, 15 years ago are now $700,000, $1 million. Do you remember when $1 million home was crazy? Well, mortgage rates are higher than they were during the ultra low 2020 era. Property taxes are also higher because of values. Insurance is higher because of risk. Maintenance is higher because labor is higher, also parts. A household making $100,000 today often cannot comfortably afford the median home in most median US cities. But a 300K household, now we're in the range that used to feel upper class. Not because of luxury, but just because of the simple raw math. Here's the crazy thing. Taxes hit differently at high income. If your 300K income is W-2 income, not a small business, you get hit even harder. We talk about it a lot here on Hustle and Grind Finance. Let's talk about something people ignore. At 300K income, you are not taking home 300K, not even close. You've got federal tax, state tax, payroll tax. In high tax states, effective tax rates can take approximately 35 to 45% of your income when you combine every tax together. That 300K might turn into 180 net, which sounds like a lot until you plug in your mortgage, principal, interest, tax, and insurance, your childcare, retirement contributions, if you're doing that, I hope you are, your healthcare premiums, your employer probably takes out of your paycheck some premiums for health. Maybe you have student loans. You have a massive car payment, and suddenly 300K does not feel outrageous. Now, if you have kids, childcare alone is a mortgage. Those of you that don't have kids don't understand this yet, but that's okay. In many areas, childcare costs can be $1,500 to $3,000 per child per month. I'm not kidding. If you have 2 kids, double it. You rarely get 2-kid discount. So that $36,000 or $72,000 per year is after tax as an expense. Childcare is becoming the number 2 cost of what their household spends. You have housing, childcare, healthcare, and auto care. This is why dual income households often say something like this. We make awesome money, but we still feel like we're living paycheck to paycheck. We're still not stacking cash like we thought we were going to do. We're actually living at the end of our budget. Everyone has lifestyle creep. We've talked about this before. Lifestyle inflation is real. Let's be honest. Some of this is math. Some of this is expectation creep. At 300K income, people often buy in better school districts, upgrade their cars, we travel more, we eat out more, we max retirement accounts. We kind of push the limit in every life category. We invest in private activities for kids that we wouldn't if we were making 120,000. None of these are irrational decisions, but they do compound. You're not living like somebody making 100K. Your peer group shifts because all of your coworkers probably make the same amount. Your normal inflates. This is called lifestyle creep. So 300K means you're stuck in this weird upper middle class trap. And here's the paradox. 300K income puts you in the top few percent of earners in the world. I mean, if you actually pull that in, you are in the top at least 5% on earth. But in high cost cities, you're not wealthy, you're comfortable, you're leveraged, you still work. You need that paycheck though. Again, if you're W-2, you rely on that paycheck. You're still sensitive to layoffs. You're still budgeting around big expenses. It's a strange psychological space. If you're there, comment down below your experience. You have high income, moderate wealth, but also high expenses. 300K is income, not wealth. This is super important. We'll talk about this a lot on this channel, so don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Also like this video so we can share the good news about this channel to as many people as possible. Income is not wealth, even though people think it is. $300,000 income with a massive mortgage, extremely large lifestyle, and no investments other than your retirement investments and maybe some 401k. This is not financial freedom. You're still working for the man, as we used to say. Meanwhile, somebody making 120K may have much lower lifestyle expectations. They're stacking away more cash. They pay off their house. They spend less. They are consistently investing. They might be far better, wealthier in the long term. The old definition of rich was income-based. Now, the modern definition needs to be asset-based. That is a massive shift. It's not just what you make, it's how free you are to make decisions that you want to make, and you're not just working for the man. So at the end of it all, is 300K the new 100K? In terms of lifestyle in major US cities, yes it is. Inflation has done a number on labor and housing, but 300K versus 20 years ago in 2006, yeah, 300K is the new 100K. But here's the important part. This is not an excuse to chase a big number endlessly. If you need 300K income to feel stable, here's the real question. Is it the income or the cost structure? Because freedom isn't about earning a giant number. It's about controlling the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Freedom is the freedom to make a decision about your lifestyle at the time you want to make it. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck, even at 300K, you are not financially free. Well, if this video made you rethink what rich means, hit the like button, comment down below 300K. I want to hear from you. If this surprised you, let me know. Subscribe to Hustle and Grind Finance if you want honest finance conversations that cut through the noise. And until next time, see you in the next video. Bye.